Hi guys, it's Joy, and you saw the title of this video. This is gonna very much be a sit and chill video, so strap in if you like these kinds of videos. And I've been saying this to y'all if you've been watching, but I just want to give everybody a reminder. I honestly don't know how long I'm going to be on YouTube, and I have some really good news about that. If you want to see me every day, go to TikTok. I know you guys have heard me talk about that's where toddlers are. Teenagers, tweens. That's no disrespect. I'm just joking. You can call me an old lady. It is okay. I didn't realize what a huge diverse platform it is. And my second day on TikTok, y'all, if you saw my video from yesterday, go check it out where I was saying like my first video got over 1,500 views. The second one hit over 5,000. And then today, my first video is at 3,000 that I uploaded. And the third video I uploaded today is over 10,000 views. I'm up to, at the moment, 300 followers on there. And I think I just hit like the 2,000 like mark. Like, I'm floored and I'm really having so much fun over there. And it's something I can do while I'm sick because these videos, YouTube is so hard because the algorithms can just be impossible to get in unless you are just a monster putting out content. And my body just can't do that right now. So it's too hard to grow it with what I'm going through. So make sure and add me. I'm Joy Sparkle Shine. If you saw, I even changed my name here because I just feel like I'm becoming more and more of myself. The more I'm getting the illnesses under control and the more the weight goes away. It was crazy to be able to see how thin my face has gotten recently, even just as of a month ago. And I'm just having so much fun. I'm going to add a new vegetable into my beets and carrots. So I'm going to add in radishes. Have to go really slow because they have sulfur in them. And then I'm going to retry the onions. So I know onions. But this channel has a history with onions. But seriously, I am super, super excited. Also, Snapchat, Joy Sparkle Shine. I will be getting that up and running. I've tried to submit some videos to Spotlight. They keep getting rejected. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. If you know anything about their Spotlight program, send me an email, joysparklevs, because I need to just dive into that. The problem is the time and the energy with, as you guys know, I've been really focused on healing my body and fixing it. And it's hard, but I'm seeing strides forward with my nervous system, which is great. It does suck though, because like if I'm having an off day or when I first started trying to practice singing, when I started doing more like my full classical voice or trying to do full classical voice and doing those really high notes and sustaining them, I would get a big headache and I would almost pass out. And I found out, because I talked to my practitioner today, it's because I guess singing is like, I didn't realize this, but there's a book called Breath by, I forget who, but apparently singing is one of the most intensive workouts you can do. I knew that like, you can burn like up to 400, 500 calories an hour singing. I've known that from, what being classically trained, but also it's really difficult on the vagus nerve because the diaphragm, right? As well, it can be difficult for blood flow. And that is something I have to work on, is having low blood volume. So a lot of interesting stuff. Like I said, guys, this is going to very much be a sit and chill video. Also, today's episode is brought to you by my little dress. It's like a yellow tan. Typically, I don't go for these colors. Y'all know me. I like bright colors or I like pastels. But as I've gotten older, I'm a little more okay with like muted-ish colors. So I'm excited because this is like a nice spring fall dress. And I love the little frills here. And then there's it's not really frilled, but it's just the collar makes me happy. So it's like, I'm not super tan or khaki. So it's yellow-ish. I am a yellow fan though. So I figure this and maybe some gray or even white or nude shoes. I'm excited. Also because it's spring. Well, it's spring here. I know it's going to be different parts of the world or depending on where you're watching. But I got out some of my spring summer scents. So I got this. I haven't even gotten to wear much of this because I bought it when I was sick last year and I couldn't really wear it because of histamine. So this is Love Spell and Amber Romance from Victoria's Secret, Sun-Kissed. So I love it. I've been wearing this today. Oh, and then I also added Desert Lily in there. This is like a nice floral with a kick to it. So I am feeling all my summer vibes. So yeah, anyways, like I said, go to TikTok and go to Snapchat, Joy Sparkle Shine. Go add me there because I just don't know how long I'm going to be here or what I'm going to do because I can grow everything 100 times quicker. Snapchat I can also make money on. I just have to figure out what I'm doing wrong with my videos. And I just don't have the energy for everything. I love y'all. I told you guys, I have the best audience between you guys and the stimulus audience, two best audiences a person could ask for. I'm so blessed, but I have to work within my health, and I also have to work with the platforms that are going to work with me. And YouTube is just, I love YouTube, but they've been horrible to their creators. Like, I don't know what else to say, you know? It's like, I can't keep screwing over my health to barely make enough to pay all my bills. You know, if I were in good health, I could do 2 or 3 months of 3 videos a day and build this, but it is what it is. So you saw the title of this video. I want to let everybody know, in case they're worried, I am safe. And I'm going to tell you a story of a person who is not in my life right now. However, I told you guys this, I believe it was yesterday's video, when I was talking about what happened in the last, month that I've been gone. And I told you guys a really horrible ex had come back for a little bit. I am going to be vague. Also, y'all don't know who this is. You guys are not going to know who this person is. Funny enough, this person knows who they are and they watch my videos. Hi, you, hi. I found that out. This video is not meant to embarrass or, it's not meant for anything negative for that person, but this is a story that I felt to tell because I think there is a lot of good that came from it. It's very interesting. So I guess I'll try to dive into it. So this was an ex that was horrific to me. And don't think you know who it is because I've had a lot of horrible exes. Not all of them. Like roommates, he's not perfect, but compared to all these other people, he is an angel. He is a saint. It's sad though because I look at him as a saint compared to all these other horrible people that I was with, right? And you might think, why did this happen? Why did I allow this? So it was by accident that we started talking again. I hadn't talked to this person in a really long time. And where do I begin? This is a person that has been so horrible to me that I don't think about them that much. I've really written them off in my mind, and talking to them again was a little difficult because a lot of feelings came back that I was not prepared for. And just so you guys know, Rumi was aware of everything going on. A lot of people don't realize this. We are strictly friends. It is we are in a weird situation, but like strictly friends. The most we do sometimes is hug, or if I'm not feeling well, he might rub my back just to make me feel better. That's it. So, we talk to each other about different things going on in our lives, about this stuff, just so you guys are aware. And he was very aware of this situation. And he did a lot of counseling and guidance and helping me on it because it was hard. This person, it sucks because I'm not happy with them and I want to be mad at them, but I still smile when I think about them. And that's okay. Like, I can be upset and I can be mad, and I'm trying to recognize emotions can still be there, and that's okay, right? But here's what happened. So we accidentally got in touch with each other, and I take fault for it, and it was accident. You know how sometimes some people will make something look like an accident because they really want to talk to somebody? Not the case. Not at all the case here. But it was an accident, and we ended up texting, and I saw the text, and I was shaking, and I was equal parts terrified and angry, and I initiated it, and I said, I think it was like, either I asked for a phone call or I just called. And we spoke. We had a really hard chat because I was really angry, still angry, and I have every right to be. This person really gave the illusion that they've made, they came across as though they've made a lot of changes. They finally were taking responsibility for a lot of the things they had done. And I'd never heard that. This person has been so horrible, and they have had almost zero accountability, maybe 5%, but even in that 5%, there was very little remorse. It was weird. There was a lot of like intimidating me spiritually, which, and this person was like more of it's kind of hard to explain. We weren't similar spiritually at all during the times we were kind of together, but now the person is a lot more like me. And they say that my influence, so they're a lot more kind of, I don't even know if you'd call what I do new age, but you know, they like ancient aliens. They love the concept of aliens, and they kind of did this transition from more of a like Christian conservative over there, which, you know, whatever, it doesn't matter. But this person had never, in my opinion, they had never really taken responsibility. And I heard that and I was happy. This story is going to get really weird, guys. And as we spoke and talked, feelings started to come back, and I was not expecting that. And we talked about it, and the person said they still have feelings for me. They are still in love with me. Hadn't gotten over me. And I asked them, I was like, well, I don't think we should be expressing this stuff until let's set some boundaries. What's your situation? And wouldn't tell me. Would, like, literally, and I have text messages, and I don't want to put that out there. Like, my goal isn't to hurt this person or anybody else. And, you know, even though I'm on YouTube, and this person hasn't always done this for me, I will protect people's privacy as much as I can. But I have all the evidence if I ever needed it. I hope I never have to need it. I don't think that I will. But anyway, so here's what happened. They just wouldn't tell me. And I was like, why won't you tell me? That's weird. I was like, so something's going on with you. Would avoid the question, like literally would just change the subject. And I'd call this person out and be like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, this is manipulative. But I think because I was really lonely and I was taking that time off, and I was just, this is somebody that and it's so hard to know what's real with this person, but in personality, at least at what I've thought, we've gotten along. Even though there's been horrible things, many areas of our personalities click. We have really similar humor. We grew up similarly. We have similar families. And this person knows a lot about me. And spiritually, we're similar. And it's hard to find all of that in one package. And I was enjoying talking. And he said, I want to continue to talk to you. So that's what we did. So another day rolls around, and we start expressing feelings and even having conversations that are more intimate in nature. And we express things, and the person agreed with how I was feeling about certain things, still refused to tell me what's going on in the situation. All I did get was it's complicated. And I knew that the person had been dating somebody at one point, and I was like, is it that same situation? Is it that same situation? Wouldn't tell me. Okay, right? And I, honestly, it had been a long time since I spoke to this person, so I didn't know what was going on. But fast forward to day 3. It's at the point where, like, we're talking every night for 2-3 hours a night, and he's calling, like, we're talking at work, and he's telling me, call me at work, call me on my work phone. And I finally cornered him. I said, you have to, what is going on with your situation? You have to tell me. You like, I'm not comfortable. We've been sharing these conversations, and I don't feel right in my soul because I feel like you're hiding something from me. In fact, it's pretty obvious that you are. So what position are you putting me in, or that I'm allowing myself to be in right now? And he told me, I'm with somebody. Not only am I with them, I live with them. And we were talking about the possibility of one day doing like a meetup visit. First of all, break my heart as I was having these feelings come back. But then I was like, you just put me in a situation where you are cheating. You are using me to cheat. You are using me to emotionally cheat. This is what the person said. Person said, no, it's not like that. In fact, my relationship is a lot like you and roommate. And I said, nope, you're not going to disrespect me and roommate like that, because roommate, I'm charity to roommate. Now, he doesn't see me that way, and he gets upset when I say that, but that's how I feel. I'm like, roommate is an ex that cares enough about me that keeps me alive because of my illness that you didn't even believe I had and you made 100 times worse. And I also believe what this person put me through very much screwed up my nervous system. People don't realize this, but when you go through really bad relationships, and especially if men are really bad to you, or if it's a woman, that can happen sometimes, not as often, but it can happen. That much stress and trauma, and especially PTSD, can completely screw up your nervous system. Too much trauma can screw up your health. A lot of people don't understand that. Can create all kinds of issues. And I believe, I'm not saying this person completely caused it, but they have a fair percentage, and they know that. They know that. It's been really hard to watch me dive into chronic health, and I'm getting mad just thinking about it all over. Watch this person healthily walk away and just go do whatever they want. This person is, in my opinion, has been a very destructive person to typically the people he gets close to. The people he gets close to. Now, this is the kind of person where nicest person in the world, if you met him out in the world, they'd be helpful, they'd be kind. I'm talking about the intimate relationships or the super close relationships. Very selfish and very destructive and could not care less. So this is what I was told. I was told, we are just roommates. I have my own room. Something, I guess, happened, I don't know what, along the lines of cheating, but the story wasn't told to me and it's fine. On the one hand, it's not my business, but on the other hand, part of me was like, well, it kind of is. And they were not really together. And he even said this person is like family to me. Now, understand, our conversations much of the time were on speakerphone, and that is part of a lot of how I communicate because I'm sick and it's just hard to hold up the phone sometimes. And roommate heard part of this, and I'm so glad he did because, this person really made it sound like the situation that's going on with him is not a big deal, and they're basically just waiting out a lease. And I was like, so I've been talking to you in the apartment that you share with your girlfriend, and we've been having these conversations. It's not that big a deal. Oh, and she's aware because we're friends. Okay. So I don't remember the exact timeline because this all happened within like a week and a half, I think. But a couple days later, we're talking, and I can't remember how, but casually lets me know that this person is somebody he feels is a soulmate and somebody he's going to be staying with after we had even been talking about we had been seriously talking about a visit. And he wanted to and was open to it, but would also say it's probably a bad idea. Never said, I am so in love with the girl that I'm with. So I feel so naive and stupid. I'm with this person. I got furious because I was like, you told me 2 days ago that this is just like me and roommate and that you're just there because of a lease and all of these things. I find out more of what's going on. Like, they were going to get married. They've been together for a while. Oh, and it's a house. They have a house together. Y'all. And I'm like, what changed here? And he tried to gaslight me and say that what I said didn't happen. And I was not having it. I was catching all the BS and calling it. I'm like, you used me to cheat. If that is the case, you used me to cheat. He refused to see it. He'd go, you started the conversations. I'm like, really? Does that hold up in a court of law? Somebody started an argument with you, so you like end their life? Is that how it works? So if you cheat on your girlfriend, as long as somebody else came on to you, I was watching all of this manipulation. When I say cheat, this was all emotional, right? This was emotional, even though some conversations were, when I say intimate, they were really close. It was expressing certain feelings we were having for each other, right? That were inappropriate for somebody in a long-term committed relationship. And I just sat there and I watched this person tell me it never happened. And I'm like, you're a gaslighter. I know this about you and you can't pull this crap anymore. Boom, you're gaslighting me. What are you doing? So it was interesting because I got really mad. And then finally, this is what they did. This is what they tried to say. they tried to say, I must have miscommunicated then. And I said, and he kept saying, I apologize for miscommunicating. I'm like, number one, I don't want your apology. Thanks, I don't need it. But number two, there is a difference between miscommunicating and giving me a totally different story, to which, well, I don't always explain things well. I mean, the amount of insanity of excuses. And as this was going on, it was like I started to feel this old familiar feeling of this negative blanket cloud of just heaviness and despair hit my head. And and this is something I would experience around this person, and I didn't fully understand it, and I still didn't, and I just started feeling really down about it all. I'm like, what? I don't understand what's happening. And thankfully I talked to roommate's like, he was on speakerphone. I heard him say those things. I heard it. And he's like, and remember after that, a few days ago, you and I had conversations laughing about how he tried to compare it to you and I, and it's not the case. And I was just like, and roommate is, he's not brutally honest, because I think brutally honest is like when you use honesty sometimes as you can be mean with it, because you can be kind or you can be awful with anything, right? So when somebody says, I'm brutally honest, it's like, oh, so you're choosing to use your truth or possible facts to be a complete a-hole to somebody, to be mean. You are justifying that you might have factual information for horrible behaviors to somebody else. That's why I always think it's funny when you see these like Simon Cowell types who are just like, I'm just brutally honest, and we're supposed to just go along with that. Like that's something positive. Or no, you don't have to act that way. But okay, so I caught the gaslighting. And guess what? Still wanted to come visit. And I will tell you, I got really confused in this situation. And it was clear to me that he was not happy in his situation. And I was like, I don't want to be this person. I don't like this. And the sad thing was, guys, we were having a lot of good conversations about what happened in the past. And I was able to get a lot more clarity on a situation that was just horrific. I get a lot more clarity on what happened and why it would never work. And I understand, and that's the sad thing. In fact, I understood, I'm like, things will never work with this person because of all their issues and who they are. But I am very, very lonely, and we were, except for these stupid things, we were really getting along and communicating. But it really sucks, because then I went back and looked through our text messages. He painted a picture that was completely different than his situation. Like that he lived alone or lived with family. That was the picture that was being painted. I went back and read all our text messages to like check my sanity, and I was right. And I still believe he was gaslighting. Then I found out, didn't tell his girlfriend. She has no clue. I actually brought it up. I was like, okay, I was like hypothetical here. And he didn't understand, and he got really defensive. I was like, and I found out he talks to me in the basement. He doesn't have a room. It's just the basement where all of his stuff is. And I was like, okay, go upstairs, put me on speakerphone. Let me talk to your girlfriend or your live-in roommate or your family member, whoever this is, and let me explain what's gone on. And I'll make it very short and simple. Hi, I'm an ex. I don't know if you know, but me and whoever this is to you are speaking, and we're having intimate conversations, and he wants to come visit me, possibly intimately. Are you okay with this? He got mad. He was like, how dare you? Oh, how could you do that to somebody? Just started going off. And I'm like, you told me she knew. Went off. Rage. He raged quick. Hung up the phone. Super mad. Did the same anger, mind games, the same discarding, but I think he understands now I am not the same person to mess with. I will not take his crap. And on top of that, I believe this person is very much a narcissist and a sociopath. I don't know to what level. I'm not saying that he's diagnosed. This is what I get from the situation with him. And when I was the primary energy focus, when we were a couple, he could discard me, and I now believe there were other people around me. I don't know that he fully cheated, but he probably emotionally did. And I think I caught him a couple times, and he would never own up to it. He would rage at me. But I think it was a bit different now, because now the situation was that he was trying to get me as a secondary energy source and didn't want to let it go. So a few hours later texted him, sorry, I did the same bad patterns. I'm just really enjoying talking to you and I don't want to stop. And so I was really going back and forth, and my thing was like, okay, so obviously you're not happy and you're bored in your situation. Otherwise you wouldn't have done what you've done. I am not going to be used in the manner you've used me. So here's what it is. We need to take some space. We need to not communicate. And if you get out of that situation, if that's what you feel called to do, and don't do it on my behalf, and you want to call me, I will be open to that. So stupid, guys. I'll be open to it, but I'm not going to, because we were talking about seriously that weekend him, coming down. And I said, but I'm not going to be in the middle. And then he was like, well, can I just come visit you as a friend? And I laughed. I'm like, that's not going to happen. He's like, we can make it happen. And I was like, no. And I said, here's what's going to happen. Intimacy will probably happen because of our connection. And you are going to be manipulating me, her, and yourself if you really think you're coming down here as a friend. That will be an escape for you. You are looking for a reason to run from your situation. And I'm not going to be your fun little vacation for that. I'm not going to be used for that. If you're not happy with your situation, you need to grow some balls and deal with it, son. You don't use me to deal with it. Not doing that. This guy. Okay, so here's what happened. So I called this person at work, told them all this. We had a good conversation. And I want you guys to understand, for like a week straight, he would talk to me at work and then come home for like 2 or 3 hours and talk to me nonstop without her knowing. Sick. I just feel sick about it. There's a lot more that I could say that I'm not going to, but I expressed all this, and it was like a Friday, and he was really thinking about coming down, and I said no. And then he basically, we'd had this conversation. He agreed, okay, I think we're on the right page. That's pretty healthy, because he just kept saying, I just want to do things right, and I want to communicate right. I want to be a respectful person. I'm like, you're not respecting her. You're not respecting her. And then she still didn't know. He would go, okay, I'm going to go tell her, and then wouldn't. And so basically I was like, we're not going to talk anymore, because I can't do this. And you are being horrible to her I was like, I'm not going to do this. And so his thing, he was really trying to press it. He was like, well, I could come down today, but only if we do it as friends. And I just said again, I'm like, you're not listening. How are you still this manipulative? You don't want to be my friend. Well, we would just have to make sure nothing happens. You know it will. This is an escape for you. You need an escape, and you need a reason to justify. His narcissism and sociopathy needs these mental gymnastics and hurdles he does to justify certain situations. He wanted to be able to cheat and justify it. Then I find out she pays for the majority of everything. This poor, young, naive girl. I don't even know who it is, and honestly, it's not my business. I have learned over the years, and you guys know this watching me and knowing how I am, I can't save everybody, nor is it my job to. So whatever she is choosing to do with him, not my business, not my circus, not my monkeys. All I can do is be accountable to myself, and when I know information, I act upon it for my best and highest good, and I try to do that for the people around me, if that's possible. That's not always possible, right? And I'm not saying I'm completely innocent in the situation, but I was lied to and manipulated, and my weaknesses were played on me. And so basically what happened was Saturday rolls around, and I'm feeling fine at first, and I get more and more and more sad. And we'd been talking all day, didn't hear from him all day, and I figured he's going to be with his girlfriend, that's fine. I got really sad. And it became night, and I felt devastated, and I felt heartbroken. And I think it's because the reality hit me. He chose her. And it's not that I was thinking he was going to choose me. It's not even necessarily that I was wanting him to. It's that I feel like he's never chosen me. Every time he was the A word, where you're not nice physically, mentally, emotionally to somebody. And it was all the time, guys. It was all the time. He chose everything awful over me. Now, I'm not saying that, by the way, that's not towards her. I don't know who this girl is. She's probably a lovely girl, right? And I just felt devastated. And I was like, I can't do this. Because the last time we spoke, even though I had that whole thing, right, that we talked about, but then he tried to manipulate, well, I'll come down as friends. And tried to manipulate me, well, let's just stay friends and stay open. Knowing all the conversations we had, knowing he's hiding this, right? So I basically, I texted and said, hey, I changed my mind. I'm going to go ahead and block you, and we'll talk later. Listen to this. Tell me if this makes sense. On a Saturday, okay, he says, sorry, I didn't respond to you. First it was like, huh? What? Why? And it was, sorry, I haven't gotten back to you. I've been up and I've been helping a friend move all day that's having an emergency since 7 a.m. It's like 10 p.m. now, guys. I want to paint you a picture of what this looks like. So you're telling me on a Saturday when you live with your girlfriend, oh, and I guess there's kids involved. I don't even know the extent and I don't want to. I just kept finding out more things. But here's what happened. Think about this. Let's think about his logic. You're telling me that means you had to have been up by like 6 or 6:30 a.m. on a Saturday. You're telling me that because here's the thing. If you were with this person since 7, I don't know how far away this person is. It's probably at least a half hour between getting a phone call and going to visit or see, or an hour. Think about it. You got to get up and get ready. You're telling me that minimum you're up at 6:30 a.m. on a Saturday and you spent 16 hours with a girl that's not your girlfriend and your girlfriend wasn't there the whole time. First it was somebody move out, then the story kept changing and I was like, look, I don't want to talk. Why? And I was like, I'm not going to do this on text. Well, I can't talk right now. And I'm like, great, see you later. So he calls me from his car and is like, sorry, I just finished up with my friend. I'm like, you've been with your friend for 16 or 17 hours. Yeah, it was an emergency situation and the person had to move out and it's a girl and there was a breakup and it's bad. Has your girlfriend been with you? No. You really expect me to believe this? So you're telling me all this week, you've been talking to me, spending most of your time at night talking to me, and then on the week, not spending time with her, and then you spent a whole Saturday not around her whatsoever. I don't believe you. And so basically I just said, I still have feelings for you, and you said that you were still in love with me. And then he goes, well, I was. I was like, no, you said you still are. You said I am the one, and I'm the one that's gotten away. And I was calling him out, and he was like, and then he would go, it just doesn't work with us. I'm like, I know that. That's fine. I know it doesn't. I agree with that. But I said, I'm devastated all day because I miss you and you chose somebody else. And like, I don't mean to be mean, guys, but it's hard. It's hard because the person he chose is somebody that I don't understand why he chose. And I'll go into this in a second. And this is not a diss to her. I'm going to explain what I mean by this. I was just like, you chose something so radically different than me, something that I know that you can't be attracted to. You're doing it because you're addicted to comfort and you're manipulating her to take care of you. I'm sure you have feelings for her, but how disgusting. And I somehow this week had feelings and started to feel invested in you, even as I was trying to set boundaries. And as I tried to set boundaries, you tried to step all over them. I need this to be done. And he was just like, what can I do? Well, how do I fix it? And I was like, you can't. And I heard him in his car making a lot of turns, and it dawned on me. I don't know if it's true, but I can't trust anything he says. And I was just like, holy crap. All of that was a lie. You literally left your house to go talk to me in the car about it because you don't want her knowing. I'm sorry. That's what it sounded like to me. I could be wrong, but this is how it came across. So I was like, I just said, I can't do this. This is insulting to my soul. And you've put me in a really bad position, and I'm not going to be this person. And I don't want to communicate. I am so hurt by you. And he said again, what can I do? And I said, sometimes there's nothing you can do. And he was like, well, let's talk about this tomorrow. I need to leave. I'm like, no, we either figure this out tonight or it's done. And really it's done for me. And he was like, well, I'm tired, so I need to set the boundary and go. And I laughed and I'm like, you've been with your girl all day. That's why you're tired. I said, if you actually cared about wanting to talk to me, you're going to fight through. He used to put me in the most horrific, unsafe situations because screw if I'm having anything going on with my body. You have faith. Oh, man. You have faith that if it's your time to go, it's your time to go and push through to get things done. I.e., he doesn't care if you're having a health issue. do things for him and his comfort. The biggest man-child I've ever met. Y'all. And I ended it. And we haven't spoken since. And the first couple days I was really sad. But I started to have all these awareness bombs come into my mind of what was happening and what was going on. And some of what I told you guys was stuff I understood later, right? And I realized that negative dark cloud that I felt was his web of manipulation. And if you've ever been with somebody who's got those narcissistic, sociopathic tendencies, that manipulative energy they can put you in, it feels horrible and icky and heavy and hopeless. And it's this feeling of just submit already. It's horrible. And that started to lift. And I started to see things. And I realized something. I realized, I had never been the one to set the boundary and walk away. I had never been the one to do that. And I needed to do that. I always, either he did the narcissistic, discarding of me, many times in not safe ways, please infer, or I was running for my life because of what he was doing. And I kept thinking, why did this come back? Why did this come around? And it's interesting. You guys know I do a lot of like looking at tarot readers and astrology and stuff. And we were in a Mercury retrograde, and there were a lot of people for like a month saying an ex is going to come back, an ex. And I was just like, yeah, right. And then it happened, and it happened in post Mercury shadow. So even when Mercury retrograde, and Mercury's this planet of communication, and what happens in a retrograde is it looks like it's moving backwards, but it's not. So there's all kinds of things, like you'll have like things start breaking down, you'll have tech issues, miscommunication, and this one, a lot of people's exes just all of a sudden sound off it happened to you. And I realized I don't think I'd ever really mourned this person. And then I found out some interesting things. And roommate helped me understand this. I was really frustrated. I was like, why would he choose this girl that I know he's bored with? No disrespect to her. I just know how he is. How could he be? I don't understand how he could be attracted to that and be happy. And after talking to a roommate, and I did a lot of watching videos on narcissism and sociopathy, I dove back into that and self-help stuff. There's a great book that I've started to dive into called Why Did He Do That? And that's always the thing that drives me nuts. Why do you act that way? So it's this person who's been a psychologist for years and years who dealt with, like, they specifically dealt with people like this. And they dove in, and this person just gives a bunch of answers as to why certain people act the way they do. It's fascinating. And the why always, I have a hard time because if I can't figure out the why, sometimes I'll jump back into something that's not good. I'm not saying anybody else should be that way. This is a defect I have. But at the same time, I realized even when I was away from this person, I ended up attracting other people doing things to me. So something in my soul wanted to learn all this, at least in my opinion. And this is what I realized. I keep thinking that he's with a girl that bores him and that this is not who he is. And I had to face, he is not who he is. He doesn't know who he is. No one knows who he is. I think he is very much a chameleon to anyone he's around. All big narcissist and sociopathic traits. Because when I was with him, it was all about, I'm so passionate about these things. I'm going to go after these dreams. I want to be a world traveler. I'm going to do all of these things. Do you know how many he's done? This many. Do you know how many I've done? You know the things I've said I want to do? I've done them, not all, but a vast majority of the things I wanted to do. I went and lived in Europe. I went and lived in Paris and the south of France and performed all over the world and made successful YouTube channels and was #1 at things that I've done. Now, I've had a lot of failures too, especially this body. So I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm so amazing. I'm just saying I'm one of those people that if I have passion and dreams and desires, as long as the situation or my body permits and it feels right, I'm going to go after it. And I couldn't understand how. This is a person that I realized is never going to leave their hometown. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's something wrong with that because, I think people like that are beautiful too, right? As long as you are at peace with your soul and you feel like you're doing what you need to do, we need all types of people, right? My problem was, why did this guy lie to me? And so roommate brought up a couple good things. Roommate's like, maybe he's projecting who he wants to be. And I'm like, maybe. But this is what I realized. To get what he wants, he will become whoever he needs to around the people he's around. it's not just somebody, you know, we all change over the years, right? But you still keep your core personality intact. This person's core personality shifted so much. And if you ever tried to bring it up, it was this negativity of quit trying to use my past against me. And I'm like, I don't know who you are to know what's real and what's your past and what's happening. So that was why I had such a hard time. Was not that I was trying to put this person down. I just could not understand. I kept thinking, if you went from somebody like me to that, I don't know how you're not bored. But I don't think he and I had a lot of common at the end of the day. I don't think he has a lot in common with her. I don't think he has a lot in common with anybody. I think he does not know who he is. This is honestly what I think now. And I think that he will do and say any manipulative, crappy, bad, A-word, extremely mean and not safe behaviors to get what he wants. And it's all about control. And it's still really hard. I've gotten, now that there's been enough time that's passed from this, I've moved on and focusing on myself, but I had a good week of just trying to understand it. And I'm not saying I do, because at the same time, I think one good thing about us talking again was no longer is he the boogeyman in my head I have to look out for. And it really wasn't, when I say boogeyman, you think imaginary. This person could have, and almost sometimes would have ended my life. This was not a safe situation. And I don't have to be scared of them anymore. But here's also what scared me, and this was really hard to look at. How did he so easily walk back, and how did I let that happen? And then that freaked me out for a while. I allowed this, and I felt like I couldn't trust myself and my decision-making skills. Having panic attacks about it. And luckily I had some good friends and roommates talk to about it. And they helped me kind of understand. And, you know, I had a roommate, and then there's another friend who just wonderful people basically sat me down. They were like, you figured out his crap and you figured it out quickly, called it out, and you walked away. That's how you know you can trust it. You dealt with this so much better than you would have a long time ago. You would have been a pile of tears and trauma, and you're thriving. And so I had to get strong within myself. And I also think I had to give this one last look, not from he's the boogeyman I have to run, but as two human individuals and people. And I had to shut that door. And I'm really glad that I did. There are parts of me that are sad, but at the end of the day, this is a man that I would have to take care of. Not because he's very physically capable. He's not ill. He is just lazy and manipulative. He doesn't realize he is, or maybe he does. Like, I don't know. Honestly, I don't, you know, when I say he's a narcissist and a sociopath, I don't know to what degree and how far these tendencies go. I know they go enough, and that's as much as I need to know, right? But at the end of the day, I get really sad for him because all the things he said he wants to do either were lies, or this is just a situation where he's never going to go anywhere and do anything. He will always stay in comfort. And what's so funny to me is he complained so hard about people who just wanted to live for their little comforts. And I realized so much of over the years, what he hated in other people was what he was. And I just idolized and I father figured this person. And then I got mad at my upbringing because when you tie it all back, this ties back into a stepfather who used me for gratification on some level, please infer. Very inappropriate, not touching, but like stuff that has horrified me. And then a part of me got angry because I realized I didn't have a chance. That was the only really good father figure. Not good, I'm sorry. That was the only father figure I had. And that's what I learned at a very young age. Either men are going to bully and be mean to you, or you have to joke with them about intimacy. I learned that no 10 and 11-year-old girl should have to live with that and learn that. And I did, not understanding it. So I had to realize I have and I've already known I have a screwed up relationship with men, but how far it goes. And I know this person is watching, and I want him to know, I wish you the best. The version of you that in my mind existed, I still have a lot of feelings for, but I've realized I don't know who that is, and you don't know who that is. And I don't wish you any ill will. I'm not here to do any harm to you or your partner. And I think he knows that about me. There's no concern there. Honestly, I let you go with love, with peace and love. I do though. I let you go. And if anything, I'm sad for you because I'm probably the only woman and one of the only people who really recognizes who you are. And you could have chosen to grow and to seen it and to become a better person. Because this person, I learned a lot from them. And there are things I am very grateful for. What I had to learn, what I had to get through with this person to learn it was not worth it. I should have chosen another path. And that was my lesson to learn. But I wish him well. And it is weird. I still have feelings for a person that I realize now doesn't exist. This is a person that the biggest offense on the planet to him was cheating. And look what he's become. He is everything he hates. And for that reason, that's why I wish him love, because that is a really hard existence where I'm happy. I'm thriving. I'm doing the things I love and I am moving forward. And I've done done as much work as I can on myself. I continue to work on myself. And I'm not saying I'm better or worse, but I just had to understand that all of his crap is not for me and it's done. And I'm grateful I had the experience. So yeah. And by the way, this was a while ago, guys. So this was a while ago. So there's no communication. There will be no communication. I hope that this person is brave enough to come clean to their ex, but that's not my business. It's not my business. It's not my circus. It's not my monkeys, right? And this person is, regardless of whether or not I think we ended on a good note, has not been safe for me. So I'm not in the business of meddling around with anybody's personal life whatsoever, because of how insane this person can be. But yeah, so I thought I just would go ahead and let me know have you guys gone through this with an ex, which by the way, if you have an ex who's been horrible to you too, I do not recommend you do what I did. What I did is not very safe, okay? I've got issues. I'm not sitting here promoting this. Please understand. Do everything you have to do to protect yourself and keep that space and that distance and that communication closed. All I wanted to do was share a story of a situation where this came up and how I dealt with it and how I'm moving forward. And I'm just happy because I think there was I was holding on to a lot of stuff about A-word type relationships where people are very mean, physically, emotionally, mentally. And I feel, I don't know how to explain this, but I feel so much peace. I feel like so much anxiety lifted from me being able to go through this and see all of that. And I feel like it's helped me go forward into whatever the path is I'm supposed to do and becoming the person I'm supposed to be. And I'm grateful. So if anything, I walk away like I'm not even sad anymore. I'm grateful to have the experience. I'm grateful. And I hope he wakes up. He's a brilliant, talented person who is going to wake up one day and realize he wasted his life. And that's on him. And that's not my business anymore. All right, guys, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe and hit no. Who's watching this that doesn't know me? Nobody. Then watch. The video's going to go viral. It's not going to go viral. Who am I? YouTube's not going to make me go viral. It did like me on my stimulus channel. It sure did. Just couldn't continue that. I will say it's such a blessing to watch them. I got them about 110,000 subs. It's now down to 101. They can't crack more than like a couple hundred, maybe 500 views a video. It warms my heart. It warms my heart because they tried to play people and screw people over, and they will never get that channel up and running because they don't know how, and they have just ruined it too much. That's what happens when you get too big for your britches. But that's okay because I'm going to go on and I'm going to be me and do the things that I love and the things that I'm called to do. And I'm just excited. I'm excited to go forward. And I hope I can go forward with y'all. I just, like this video, right? This was a sit and chill video, but this took so much energy. And I hope that doesn't sound whiny. I'm trying to find that balance between my health and building something and making money. And I'm going to get there. And my health is getting better, but Lord, it's taken a while. So, all right, guys, again, add me on Snapchat and TikTok. Joy, sparkle, shine. No more BS. Just shine like sunshine rays because it makes me happy. And I'm so happy that it's like 70s now and the sun's coming out. I think next week it's going to go back in the 50s, which is going to be really sad for me and Macy. Macy's our really old dog. We love her to pieces. She's getting like almost to 20. She's somewhere up there, but she's got arthritis. When it's cold, it hurts. So her favorite thing is just to like sit outside like a cat and just like take a nap and chill in the sun. She's got little squirrel friends that hang out, like it's her jam. I'm gonna go. This video has been too long. Take care, blessings, lots of love, and I will see you guys soon. Mwah! Goodbye.